Welcome to Intentionally FinTech, the show we deep dive behind the purpose of your favorite emerging and incumbent fintech brands. I'm your host for today, Michael Phillips, the CEO and founder of a purpose-driven branding agency called Beholst. After 7 years in the creative industry and after an unfortunate wake-up call in late January, I've made it my mission to help the founders in fintech and all over the other verticals like my guests over here to do what inspires them most. On this show, we're going to deep dive behind the mission and purpose of your favorite emerging and incumbent fintech brands, the values that drive their day-to-day growth, and just how exactly clarity of purpose helps them navigate this otherwise cluttered environment. So let us dive in today with my guest, Itamar Hay. He is the founder of QSplit. What they do is they handle payments for the e-commerce vertical, but I would like to let him introduce himself because he will do himself more justice than I would. So Itamar, welcome to Intentionally FinTech.
Hey, Michael. Thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, perfect.
So tell us a little bit what you do at QSplit. For the people who don't know your company, what do you guys do?
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so I will explain. QSplit help e-commerce brands to recover failed transaction due to the problem of false decline due insufficient fund. We help them to recover the decline payment and to improve the conversion rate on the website.
Wonderful. That is a wonderful mission. I know that I have connections in the e-commerce and that's a big problem. So I'm really happy that there is a company which handles this.
Yeah.
So beautifully. All right, then. Let us shift the spotlight onto you, Itamar.
Yes.
So what made you build QSplit? What led you have this idea?
Yeah. So it's a good question. I will explain. So 1.5 years ago, I want to do a trip with my girlfriend, and we want to go to Greece, and we already order like a airline ticket, and we look for hotel. And so we look for a few hotel resort in Greece, in Crete. And I find like a very nice hotel, luxury hotel, Michael, like we like. And I was really, really excited. And then when we decided on the hotel, I went to the payment checkout space and I put my credit card. And what that I think that almost everybody had this situation before that happened, that I saw like a decline prompt that said that my card was, the transaction was declined and I need to try again. So I try with another card and again, I got like the declined page. And so I asked my girlfriend to try with her card and also it was another decline. So I called to the bank and I check and I understand that I have enough credit in my two cards together, but not in each. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said to myself, how come I can't split the checkout to multiple cards like I do in every restaurant or every physical store? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I decided to take it like a few steps more. And I did a research. And I noticed something that was very interesting to me in that point, that the problem is much bigger than I thought. Like almost more than 44% of all declines payment that you have in e-commerce sites is due the reason of insufficient fund. Even though you have enough credit limit in your card or you don't have enough money in your bank with your debit card. So I decided to take a mission, and my mission was to help all e-commerce sites in the world that can give you the option to do the split on the checkout. It can be you want to split to a multiple card, you can pay with your friends, but there is no reason like that we're 2025 that you can't split the payment in the website like all the physical store. And what I discovered after I did the research, that more than 70 people that get the first or the second decline when they try to do the purchase, they lift the cart. So the e-commerce size like lose a lot of money. And I can tell you exactly the number, like more than $300 billion are lost because of this problem. So that's why I started to build QSplit.
That is a wonderful origin story, if I may say, because it combines mission, personal frustration, which you had first-hand experience with what it means to have lack this capacity of splitting payments, especially when you want to go on a vacation. So I can imagine
Did
the
you
frustration.
have this problem before? Did you have this problem before?
If I
Did you
had
try
this
to
problem personally,
yeah? Did you try
honestly,
to buy a
yes.
high? Yeah, absolutely. I understand. Like the most percent of the decline, it's there is the in the e-commerce sector that sell high AOV cart. Like it can be for travel, it can be for electronic things to home. It can be you need a new frigidaire, you need a new couch. You know, like every website that sell high AOV product lose money because of this problem.
Exactly. And it's a very
Exactly.
big gap in the market because I haven't seen anyone address it up until now. And that's why I was saying it's an interesting origin story because you reunite purpose with the gap in the market and with personal frustration. But let me ask you this right now, Itamar.
Yes. Yes.
What does this do for you on a personal level? Is it what exactly? How do you feel fulfilled by solving this?
Wow. Well, it's a big question. It's a good question because it can be, I can like answer in one thing, but I can split it, you know, QSplit, let's split it.
You can
So I can
split it.
split
We have credit limit.
it. I can split it for the mission side and I can split it to me as a founder. It doesn't matter like what specific things I try to solve. So it's two ways. Do you understand what I mean? Let's take
Yeah.
it like to medical doctor. Okay, my sister, she's a doctor. So when you study and you want to be a doctor, so first of all you study everything in general, and then you need to find something that you be specifically and to do like internship in this sector. Let's say you want to help children, so you specifically have an internship in children for you understand what I mean? In the sector.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I see the same thing as a founder. Like when you are a founder, it's like you study to be a doctor. Like you need to know everything in general, and then you have the mission. You have the sector that you need to know everything about the sector, and you need to be professional in the sector. So QSplit take me to two parallel things that help me to be better person, because in one way I really want to help people, and I explain why QSplit and why fintech. You know, the podcast is fintech, and I heard a few episodes before that you said, and you talk about people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. As I'm right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason why fintech before QSplit, why I choose fintech in the fintech world, because money, it's something that is very, very important to people. I think it's the most important thing that you have after like health and mental health. Like, you know, like what people struggle in the days, what they think about 24 hours, like money. I'm right? Tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can relate to this?
Not so much me personally, but I know people that yes.
Yes. So money is something that's very important to people. So that's why I choose fintech, because I want to help people with money. And when you go deeper to QSplit, so I want to help people with money and to help them to complete the purchase, and to help the e-commerce side, like the e-commerce company that lose billions of money every year. So yeah, I think I gave you like a long answer, but it's like a two ways to help people, to help e-commerce side, to help the people, to the consumer, and and as a founder, to progress every day. Yeah.
All right. I love long answers, especially on this podcast, because
Yeah. I hope that I didn't answer like too much for the question, but yeah.
no,
Basically,
we like long
yeah.
answers here. Don't worry about that. Okay. Now it's about that time of the episode where I introduce a certain framework. This because the
Yeah.
podcast is episodic, you don't have to watch the whole thing in order to understand, so I have to re-explain something. If you already
Yes.
watched, you already know what I'm about to introduce, but I'll ask you again. Are you
Yes.
familiar with the golden circle? If you watched any of my shorts, you already are.
Yeah,
But
I saw a few. Yeah. But I'll be happy if you can repeat and explain.
okay, perfect. So, like you said, I always say, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you
Yeah,
do it. This
absolutely.
is in psychology, right? Because what the product itself, there can always be a better product, and you're competing against features, and that's what makes you a commodity. But by knowing your purpose and by knowing how to speak that purpose properly, you're not even competing anymore. You situate yourself in a category of one. This is the power of a why. And to help you put that into perspective, I will show you here what Simon Sinek coined as the golden circle.
Yeah.
So in the middle, we have the why. So for the people who are listening on Apple Podcasts and do not have access to video, this is 3 concentric circles. In the center, we have why. In the in-between circle, we have how. And in the outer circle, we have what. And our goal as a business is to start with why in the middle, and that's no coincidence I made it my accent color here on the illustration. We then move on to how we're different and how do we do what we do, and finally to what we do. And by doing this is the proper formula to inspire people instead of manipulating them. What do I mean by this? To manipulate, it's simple. I have 3 slots left. Buy now or lose forever. It induces FOMO, and that's manipulation. Fear of missing out. 50% off, that triggers the fight or flight response. It's an interesting thing. I need to get it. And it's also fear of missing out. So it's a combination. I manipulate people. And this can get me repeat business. That's not bad. There's nothing wrong with this. This is just another way of doing business. But what happens if your company, for example, goes through a bad scandal? Or what happens if your product tends to fall behind in the tech? And I've seen practical examples of this happening. I don't want to give names, but there's companies which fall behind on the tech, right? But people still buy from them. The reason they buy from them is because they have turned themselves into loyal customers. How do they do this? By beginning with why they do what they do, how they do what they do, or how they're different, and finally saying what they do. And I can give you an example of my company, and by the end of this podcast, I hope I'll be able to extract your why and give you something like this. So, to begin, why I exist to help founders do what inspires them most and find purpose, such that together we can make the world of startups and fintechs, especially because this is fintech, a more authentic place. This is what I do. This is why I do stuff. How I do it? Through my experience in finding my own purpose after, well, you already know and the guests already know, but let's just reiterate it. I died and I was brought back to life.
Told me, yeah.
And I had to find my own purpose after that. So I have experience with that. And also through this native thing I like talking to people. Like I could do podcasts all day. And finally, I just happened to do this through branding. So this is what's important. And how does this work exactly? Well, this is, I kind of lied to you. Those are not circles, but it's a cone seen from the top. I tend to lie to my guests on this podcast. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
And at the top, you can see is the founder with the why. And here we have the management with the how. And finally, the employee with the what. Because the employees are the ones working on the product itself. The founder needs to provide the mission and the why. Why do we exist? The reason. And the management team knows how to bring that vision to life. Right? And if the management knows how to bring that vision to life and they're inspired by the founder, they can communicate it clearly down the pyramid to the employees. Finally, and if the employees know why they do what they do, it's clear in the whole pyramid. And down here is the market, right? And if you communicate clearly, it's like building a megaphone, right? You start with one
Amazing.
founder or a group of founders, then the board of directors, which are inspired by the mission, and finally the employees who are inspired by the board of directors, was inspired by the founder, and finally the market down here, which is inspired by all three levels. And if this person's inspired, you've turned him into a loyal customer. He's going to be with you whether you're in a scandal, whether you're doing good, whether you're doing bad. He's going to be with you because you believe the same thing. And to give you
Amazing.
an honest example of that, you joined this podcast because you got inspired by my story.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the power of a why is uncontestable. So I would like to try to get that by the end of the podcast, but sometimes it takes a little progression. We had a guest whose why we revealed 5 minutes before the end of the podcast. So let us walk through the questions and see if we can extract that for you today.
Yeah, amazing. I have to say that you explained it perfectly. And I can
Thank
be
you.
very related to what you say. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, you talked about this willingness to help people, and your why, as it currently stands, is to help people with money. How does this purpose show up in your day-to-day work at QSplit? Whether it's engaging with the peers, or how do you show maybe your website, or how you talk to investors and clients? How does this purpose show in your day-to-day operations?
Sorry, can you explain it again?
Yes,
Like, what do you mean? What do you
definitely.
mean? Yeah.
What we discussed up until now, your why, as it currently stands, is
Yeah.
you exist to help people with money so that they don't have to go through that frustration that you did with the
Absolutely.
credit split.
Yeah.
How does this purpose or this mission that QSplit is on reflect itself in your day-to-day operations at QSplit?
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, I will explain. This problem, like we spoke before in the starting of the podcast, I asked you if you also have this problem once, and
Yeah.
you said yes, and you related to this. So also, it's if I speak with investor, if I speak with clients, and if I speak everybody that buys something in the e-commerce sector have this problem. So the why can relate to everybody. You understand what I mean? To the employee,
Yeah.
to the investor, to the e-commerce. But let's focus on the client, okay? Because I think the most thing in the end is to give a product that help the clients to the e-commerce brand side. So what happened to the e-commerce brands? Why it's so painful problem? Because what happened basically, all e-commerce sites, if it's a mid-market company, if it's a enterprise company, they invest a lot of money in marketing brand. They like you said, we spoke about the website. Like they invest a lot of the website, how it's look, how the CRO work, and the end goal is to bring the customer. Yeah, to bring the customer, and the end goal that the customer will like the product and will buy it. So what QSplit does is when the client, the e-commerce brand, succeed to bring the customer, invest a lot of money, pay marketing in TikTok and Google and Facebook, and the client like the product and he want to buy the product, QSplit help him to complete the mission. You understand? Because a lot of money of the marketing goes away if the client want to buy the product, but he couldn't do it only because of the payment method. You understand what I mean? So the purpose is, first of all, to help to the client. You understand? First of all, to help the client. But in parallel, like I said, the reason that I choose to go to the fintech area is also to help the people. Because today you have great solution. Let's talk about buy now, pay later. Okay, Klarna, Afterpay, and they do amazing work. But in the end, not everybody want to pay to take a new loan. You know, to go to Klarna to take a new loan, to sign up, they check the credit limit, and you understand what I mean? So
definitely.
The purpose is to give the customer, the client, the easiest way to use their own credit card and not take him and not given only the option to take a new loan, and they have like that if they don't pay in the right time, that the interest that they need to pay. So in the end, I'm going back to your question. In the end, everybody can relate to this problem. You understand what I mean? It's not like I'm doing a startup that help, I don't know, cars, machine car. I give you an easy solution, okay? Coffee shop, to bring the coffee shop a better machine that will make the coffee better. Who can relate to this problem? The guy that sell the coffee. You understand? Yeah. Not me, not you, not the investor. So when you find a problem that everybody have it, everybody feel it, so you have the right problem. You know, like there is a book that Israeli the founder of Waze. You know Waze?
Yeah, definitely.
It's called Uri Levin. It's called In Love with the Problem, not with the solution.
Exactly.
So I think there is a big problem in this area, and it's a problem that everybody can relate to it. So that's why.
I understand. Okay, now this is where I would like to intervene and say that, you know, it's not coincidental that I've asked you these questions because if you remember,
I know you're doing a dance here. We dance. It's a tango. You know,
exactly.
Every level have like a purpose. Yeah, I know. I understand.
Exactly. Because look, our brains are built in the following way. We have the old brain and the new brain. The old brain, you already know this if you watched my shorts, but the old brain is where the emotion and the instinct lays. But the new brain is where language and reason exists. And this brain knows how to speak, this one doesn't. Have you ever had a gut feeling and you said, I should do this, but you didn't know how to explain yourself why you made that decision?
Wow. A lot of times. 1,000 times.
Because it comes from this brain, and it all comes down to it being aligned with your mission in life. Because let me tell you something, Itamar, the businesses that we build are only an extension of us. They don't have their own mission. They're not self-existent. They have our own mission, and it's just another what to serving our mission. So what I did, I asked you these questions, but I was actually asking you why. Why, but masked in other ways, because the old brain doesn't know how to answer why, because it cannot speak. The language is in the new brain. So I asked questions that the new brain knows how to answer, but that it indirectly asks the old brain to get to your why. So I asked you, how is this relevant to you? What made you build this? But these are just another ways of me asking you, why does QSplit exist? And to get to you, Itamar, to your why. And I've seen a pattern, the pattern of people, the pattern of problem, and the pattern of help. So if I were to state your why statement in a way, it would be this. Let me see. I didn't write it down this time, so I need to remember. Give me a second.
Take it.
To empower the customer's decision-making in key points of their life such that they can have more opportunities than otherwise. Does that make sense?
Amazing. You said it perfectly.
You go.
No, you said it perfectly, because let's talk about myself. I don't like to talk about myself, but in the end,
you will on this podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't get the answer no. You understand? Like, if I don't have this path, I will come from another path and another way. And I don't like that you have only one way or two way. You understand? It don't give you a freedom. So I'm going with you. I'm flowing with the flow. And the why that you helped me to understand why, I have to say, like, and I really appreciate you. I want to give the consumer the freedom to do the purchase. You understand what I mean?
I understand, 100%.
So the reason why, when we're going deeply and you do a great job, is to give them the freedom. If I can't buy with this card or this card and I don't want to take a new loan, okay, how can I solve this problem? So to give people the freedom they need.
Exactly. And to tell you, your why actually has nothing to do with payments. This is who you are, Itamar. You like to give power to the people who lack it. And if you look, you're
Absolutely.
going to look back into your life, you're going to see that you maybe did this also as a child. And this is, you just happened to do fintech right now because how you have some experience in fintech and how you have your first-hand experience, like I had first-hand experience with finding purpose. You had first-hand experience of not having that power to do payments. That's how you're different on how. And then what do? You just happen to do payments. But your core why is empowering the customer. And
Absolutely.
this is what I see in you. And of course, this is what we can do in 20 minutes. If we were to actually do a proper why consultation, this would be a
Absolutely.
little longer and we would have
Yeah.
something more powerful. But
And
I'm really
deeper.
happy. Yes, deeper. But this is
It's
what
like
I
a
can do
psychology.
right
It's
now.
like a psychology session.
Well, to be honest with you, what
Yeah,
I do, it is psychology, actually.
absolutely.
And everything, marketing is psychology.
Absolutely. I can
But I'm glad
recognize
we
it. I
did this.
understand it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Okay. Well, we can close the chapter of why now because we got your why and I'm super happy. Let's move on to the fintech chat today. You know
Yeah,
that fintech is known for regulation. The red tape
yeah,
is very obvious. How do you navigate the regulations while staying true to your why?
yeah. You're talking about regulation, yeah? How I
Yes.
solve this problem with the regulation. This is the question, like if I understand
While
right.
you're staying true to your why. Because sometimes we have to compromise in order to stay compliant. How do you do
Mm.
that, but while maintaining your purpose alive?
So when you are a founder, and you also can relate to this, every time you got a challenge, you got a new problem that you need to solve. And and like we said before, we talk about QSplit, it's another way for people to pay their purchase. So we need to solve the problem. You need to understand how can I do it, and to through regulation. Yeah, like this is the question. Yeah, if I understand right.
Yeah.
So imagine you stand in front on a wall, and you need to go across the wall. You need to move. You understand? So we need to find a way to across the wall. So if you go deeply enough and you looking for solution, you will find it. So that's what we did in QSplit. We find a solution that can give you the option with the regulation to help the e-commerce side to save the decline that they have and to give the consumer the option of splitting the payment. So every time as a founder, you go in front of a wall and you need to find a way to go through the wall. But this is what so addictively when you are a founder, because if you find a way to move through the wall, there is no better feeling than this. No better feeling than this. And I think that you can relate to this.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. There was yeah, there's something which I tell also my clients and also my friends who are founders. When you find yourself back against the wall, give them a right hook and switch the position.
And we can talk about one thing that it's very important when you are a founder is to be consistency, to be
Mm-hmm.
consistent all the time. Because let me ask you a question, okay? Do you remember a time that you worked very, very hard, but you didn't get the result?
Almost every day of my life.
Like everybody. But I ask you again, do you remember a time that you didn't work as hard that you work every day, and suddenly you get the result?
That also happened.
It's also happened, yeah? I'm right.
Yeah, that was both
So
ways.
so the reason that I asked you this question, because we don't decide when we will get the result, but the result that you get, it's from the work you did 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. You understand? So
I
if you work
understand.
the hardest you can, you will get the result in the end. But when you get the result and you put the leg from the gas, things will go down. So the most
Exactly.
important thing is to be consistency all the time, and that's how you can go through every wall.
Beautifully put. That's a good advice for the founders listening to our show today. Let me ask you another question about investors, because I assume in your career as an entrepreneur, you had to
Yeah,
speak to investors. Do you
absolutely.
think investors can tell when a company has a why, has a purpose, or not? And do you think that matters, or do you think they only look at the checklist? Okay, they have a good pitch, their assumptions are okay, their performa statements state good numbers, so their predictions are okay, and then we invest. Or do you think they look at the purpose also?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, first of all, why is important? We spoke almost 35 minutes and it's about why. So I believe that also investor really relate to why you are doing you are doing it. But you have a lot of investor. You have like VC investor, you have like private angel investor, and every investor have their own reason why to invest in you. So if we're looking on the logic, let's talk about VC investor, and we're looking on the logic. It's simple mathematics. They want to find a one company that become 1 billion company and to do X of the money. This is the most important thing for every VC investor. So I'm not sure it's about only the why. They want a good market. They want a good go-to-market strategy, and they want a good solution, and more important, a big problem. Um, but if I will be honest, I think the most thing that can impact if investor want to invest in you is if they feel that you are not needy to the investment. You understand what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
when you are needy, it can be in investment. It can be when a guy approach to a woman and you want to talk with her and to get the number. So if it will come in a needy way, there is no chance that it's a work for him. Also for investor, it's the same thing. If a founder believe in himself and he speak with investor and telling himself that he don't have to take their money, but it will be perfect and we can do a lot of good things with the money. This is the most powerful thing that you can have when you're speaking with investor.
I understand. Let me tell you a story about a VC friend of mine, because I don't know if I
Yeah,
told you, but I
amazing.
have a background in finance. I
Yeah,
majored in
you told me, you
finance.
told me, you told me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
majored in finance, and I've been in three boards, so obviously I know VC. There's this friend of mine in Amsterdam, and I told the story many times on the podcast. I'll say it again. There was this guy who had this crypto platform. He would make credit cards in which you can pay crypto with. You know, go everywhere and use crypto to pay instead of normal cash.
it's from Israel.
I think, I don't know. I don't
Okay,
remember.
doesn't matter. Okay, okay.
But there was this company, and the VC came and he asked for the pitch beforehand. He got the pitch. He invited him over to pitch. Everything was good. He had the mission values on the slides. Everything, performance statements were okay for 5 years. Projections were okay. The assumptions were somewhat sensible, he told me. But he withdrew. Do you know why he withdrew?
What?
Because he could read the founder that he did not believe in his own mission. He didn't
Uh,
have that sense of purpose. So
uh,
while I'm sure there's VCs who would have invested in this guy, and I'm sure he found someone to invest in him, I've had first-hand experience that there's investors who are looking for the purpose as well. Of course, it depends what stage of the funding you're in, I think also. But yeah, purpose is important, and you can definitely weaponize your why to get investment.
absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. This is one of the final questions I have for you. I've seen we're already almost, actually, we reached the time mark, but I just have two more questions for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, amazing. Okay.
Okay, so this is my favorite question from the deck. Imagine this AirPods case was a magic wand, and if I were to wave it like this, whatever you would want to change at your business, you would be able to change. What would you change and why?
It's a difficult question.
I know it's my favorite.
If I can change everything in the business, do you mean?
Anything
Yeah?
you want, you'd change.
I think it's a tricky. let's go another question. I will come back to this. Okay.
Okay.
I need to think
Okay,
about it. I need
perfect.
to think about
Okay,
it.
you think
Okay.
about it, and we'll come
Okay.
back. This is the final question I have for you today.
Yeah.
Let's say years from now, people are talking about Itamar and about QSplits. What do you
Yeah.
hope they're saying? But I'm not talking about slogans. Something which matters to you. What do you think they're saying, or what do you hope they're saying?
It's very simple. I wanted e-commerce brand and also the consumer will say that QSplit bring us freedom, like we said, joy, and absolutely logic, perfect way to save money and to help us to move forward with the purchase. Yeah.
That's a nice legacy, I think. I'd back you
Yeah.
up on that.
But in the end, you want to be, it's very simple. You want to help them. You want to help the e-commerce brand that they don't lose money. And you in parallel to help the consumer that they give the freedom that they can choose how to pay however they want. Like today, you can choose to do everything however you want. You want to order food, you're going to Uber Eats, and you find the best things that you want to order. So the same with payment. It's not like 90 there was only when you put your credit card and that's it, and we finish. The market is changing, and people wants to pay however they want. And if you don't bring them the option that is best for them, you're going to lose them. You understand? So it's very simple. Give them the option that they want. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Okay, back to our magic wand.
Sorry?
back to our magic wand.
I think that the most thing, because fintechs and e-commerce, you have a lot of strategy for how you do the go-to-market, because right now we don't have enough time, but we didn't spoke about once about AI. And AI is a game changing that changed everything. And e-commerce and fintech, what that AI changed, that you don't have, it's not like in the past you have like technology mode. You understand? I have a good technology, very deeply technology, and that's why you need to invest in me. That's why you need to use QSplit. You understand? AI changed the game. So the most important thing that I think, I don't know if I'm right, but I think that every founder and company need to ask themselves, what is my go-to-market strategy? Because who will know the best strategy for the go-to-market will get the best result. So you ask me, if I take the AirPods and I get like a magic, is to get the best roadmap of go-to-market that I can. Because right now we didn't find, it's only 60%, 70%, but we didn't get to the 100%. So
I understand.
I hope that I answer your question.
It's a wonderful answer, and I can try waving it like this, but I can't make any promises. I'm very sorry about that. Okay, Itamar. Thank you for coming today. This marks the end of our episode. Thank you guys for tuning in on this episode today of Intentionally FinTech with Itamar and QSplit. Please do check the other episodes as well, see what otherwise we can extract, missions, values, and the other fintechs we have spoken to. Do you have any final words for our audience, Itamar, before we close down this episode?
The final words, first of all, I want to acknowledge you that what you are doing, I think it's amazing. And you really do important job, because if you help one founder in his road, you did everything. And the last thing, that startups need to be simple. The mission need to be simple. The solution need to be simple. Everything need to be simple. Because if you can't say it in three words or 4 words what you are doing, it will be very difficult to sell it to the investor, to the customers, to yourself, and to everybody. So
I couldn't agree more.
Keep it simple. That's it.
I couldn't agree more, Itamar. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Michael Phillips, your host for today, together with Itamar Hay. Make sure you check out the other episodes. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.
Thank you.